Good evening and welcome. What a fantastic festive start to our evening. And thank you to Lincolnshire Vocal Academy for kicking off this evening's event in a fantabulously festive way. For those of you who may not know me, I'm David Cowell, your chair of the Board of Directors at Lincolnshire Co-op, and your host for this evening's annual members' meeting. With me on the platform tonight are, from my far left, Directors Nicola Berry, Jane Moat,
Hi, everyone.
James Scott, Julia Rodney, Ian Haldenby,
Good morning.
and of course our Chief Executive, Ursula Lidbetter.
Good evening.
And to my right, our President, Claudia Nell, with Directors Richard Wills, Jackie Munn, our Interim Group Secretary you've already heard from, Michael Borrell, and fellow Director, Steve Hughes. Can I say that the Board and I are delighted that we are once again able to meet you face to face. and to also be joined by a live online audience of members too. It's fantastic that we can reach so many of you. No matter where you are, we can find you. For those of you here in person tonight, I hope that you have had chance to have a look around our Christmas market, filled with local producers and, of course, our own family of businesses. Don't worry, if you wish to make some last-minute purchases, there will be time at the close of the meeting for you to do so. Our question and answer session will be held during item 2 of tonight's agenda, and we'll be taking questions from the floor, as well as answering those submitted in advance and handed in on question and answer cards here at the venue this evening. If you are joining us online tonight and would like to submit a question for us to answer on your behalf, please click on the message icon located in the navigation bar on your screen. We will, of course, try and answer as many of your questions as we can. I would now like to take a few moments to show you a short video on the voting procedure for this evening, and for those in the room, how to use the handsets provided to you as you arrived. For those online, the process is simple and is also covered in the video. Any member who has joined within the last 6 months will sadly not be able to vote this evening. However, we look forward to you being able to vote at future meetings. Thank you.
This year, casting your vote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. For members joining us in the room this evening, the motions will appear on your voting device screen during the meeting. The chair will indicate when to vote on each motion. Press 1 to vote for. Press 2 to vote against. Press 3 to vote abstain. You'll receive a notification to let you know your vote has been received. To cancel your vote, press the X button. You can then change your mind by pressing another option whilst the vote is open. If you need help, please raise your hand and a member of our team will come to help you. For members joining us online, when the vote is open, the voting button will appear in the navigation bar. Choose how you'd like to vote, your selected response will change colour and a confirmation message will appear to indicate your vote has been cast and received. There is no submit button. If you make a mistake or wish to cancel your vote, simply reselect the correct choice. You can change your mind while the vote is open. If you need help, please check the voting help document in the Documents tab. After the motion opens, a countdown timer will appear on screen. The vote will close when the green bar runs out. The first vote will open a little longer so you can familiarise yourself with the process. You're all set. Now back to the chair to continue with the meeting.
I hope that was all quite self-explanatory and very simple for you all. However, when the time comes, if you need any assistance on voting with your keypad device, please raise your hand and a colleague will come to help you. Now, a copy of this evening's agenda is on your seats here in the venue, and if you're joining us online, you can find this in the Documents tab. The agenda was published on our website with a notice of meeting, as well as being displayed in all our outlets in advance of this evening. If I may move to item 1 on the agenda, firstly, I'm asking for your approval to sign the minutes of the half-yearly members' meeting, which was held in person and online on the 11th of June 2022. A copy of the minutes is available on your seats this evening, and for those online, they can be viewed in the Documents tab. May I sign these as a correct record? Please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home. Now, for those in the room, if you have any difficulty voting, please raise your hand and a colleague will come to help you. The voting is now closed. Thank you. The voting results for all agenda items will be displayed toward the end of our meeting tonight. Item 2 on your agenda is the Directors' Reports and Financial Statements for the year to the 3rd of September 2022. We'd firstly like to show you a video of the standout elements from the year.
As we look back at the last 12 months, the highlight of our year has been bringing people back together. We've helped hundreds of local groups and good causes through our Community Champions scheme, and we couldn't have done it without our members, colleagues, communities and partners. Our funding supported Breast Cancer Now and its vital work, as well as food sustainability groups who tackle food waste, poverty and much more across all of the communities we're here to serve. And not forgetting your contribution. Not only does your dividend card save you money, but every time it's scanned, it helps to raise funds for your local community too. We continue to engage with and grow our community of members, returning to in-person events with 962 people coming to our annual members' meetings and environmental theme days during the summer. We also sponsored a weekend of music at the Lincolnshire Showground and had a wonderful few days seeing the best our county has to offer at the Lincolnshire Show. Our members, combined with colleagues and community groups, took part in big co-op spring clean events at 22 locations across our area. From planting bulbs to litter picking, they mucked in and made a real difference to the local environment. And with our colleagues having 2 annual paid volunteering days, we've given 1,319 hours to the community this year. When the war in Ukraine started earlier in the year, our pharmacists stepped straight up and provided a network where people could offer a helping hand to those in need. Collection points were set up in each branch, gathering essentials like toiletries, nappies, sleeping bags and first aid supplies. Working with the Polish school in Lincoln, they ensured that the donations got to where they were needed the most. Walking is great for your physical well-being and companionship boosts mental health. That's why we're so proud of our Wellbeing Walk scheme. There are now 74 wellbeing walks across our area, which are being supported by 252 volunteer walk leaders, encouraging community members of all ages to get out and discover their rural surroundings. Our developments also play a role in bringing people together. This year, we opened new stores in Retford and Barnetby, and have also seen new services open in our Riverside shopping precinct in Sleaford and the stunning Cornhill Quarter in Lincoln. We work together with local partners, including the University of Lincoln and the United Lincolnshire Hospitals Trust, to bring a new aseptic facility to the Lincoln Science and Innovation Park. Here, life-saving medicines such as those used in chemotherapy are produced for our local NHS patients. We're in a unique position to help bring about positive change locally because we're so connected with our communities. Working together, we've achieved so much this year, and none of it would be possible without our members, communities, colleagues and partners. Thank you for being a part of Lincolnshire Co-op and making all of this possible.
What a great video. And what an eventful 12 months it has been. We focused our efforts on protecting the health, safety and well-being of colleagues and members, preserving our financial security and safely maintaining the services we provide to our members and customers, all contributing to the board's ambition for the society to continue growing and make life better for members, customers and of course communities. The outstanding efforts of our colleagues have led to a strong financial performance this year, which our Chief Executive, Ursula Leadbetter, will talk us through shortly. As you saw in our video, we've seen more normality returning to everyday life. We have maintained our commitment to finding new opportunities, and I'm delighted that we've been able to open 2 new stores in the past year. In the year, we also welcomed some 18,724 new members, and reached the milestone of having more than 300,000 members for the first time. Being able to maintain and grow our membership is an important demonstration of our cooperative values and principles, and of course our relevance with the communities we serve across our trading area. With the climate change challenge, high inflation, rising energy costs, and increased levels of geopolitical uncertainty, the Society's purpose to bring together ideas, energy, and resources to make life better in our communities remains as relevant today as it was 161 years ago. Throughout the last century and a half, the Society's obligation has always been to consider not just the interest of today's members, but also to invest to ensure we can serve the needs of future generations. We are continuing to make significant investments in our people, in our technology, and in each of our businesses to further strengthen our operational resilience. These are all aimed at ensuring the Society meets the dual challenges of modernising ways of working and keeping abreast with changing needs. On climate change, we are working to reduce our environmental impact as a business and analysing and reporting on how we do this. We have recently committed ourselves to the Science Based Targets initiative, so you'll now be able to see the Society as committed on the SBTi website. We are continuing to make progress on equality, diversity, and inclusion, but do recognise we have a great deal more to do, particularly around ethnicity. The board recognises that increased diversity helps to bring different and wider perspectives to bear into the work that we do, and this is an important area of focus for us looking forward. And finally, I would like to thank all my colleagues once again for their outstanding efforts in serving members, partners, and other stakeholders, and of course for supporting each other through another demanding year. The board is grateful and thankful to our members for their continuing support. Now, here at Lincolnshire Co-op, we have several committees which our board oversees and are responsible for. I'm pleased now to present a video featuring the chairs of each committee to talk about the work they do.
The Remuneration Committee carry out work on behalf of the board to ensure that the remuneration policies, principles and practices are fair, but also take into account other stakeholders. We also carry out work to set the bonus objectives and targets for senior management. Within the last 12 months, the committee has focused on looking at the variable pay and total reward packages for all colleagues to ensure that they are fair and competitive. Next year, the committee will continue to focus on the remuneration of all colleagues. Secondly, after 18 years of work as CEO, Ursula is retiring and we'll have to work with the incumbent to make sure that we have a set of objectives and targets that are both fair and achievable for the coming year.
The main purpose of the Audit and Risk Committee is two parts. One is to provide assurance directly to the board on specific areas of control and risk to make sure they're being managed effectively by the executive. And the second thing is if there are actually any areas of concern that we do have, that we can go and do a bit of detailed work with the business to have a look at those specific concerns. The next 12 months really are building on what we've done this year in terms of starting off with the new internal and external auditors to work with the executive looking at the risk framework that we've put in place, which really beefs up how we make decisions, where we make decisions, and the controls that we have in place to make sure that the co-op is safe and secure and the financial controls are where they need to be for a business this size.
The purpose of the Search and Membership Committee, as the name suggests, on the membership side is to work with the Society's leadership team in setting the strategy for our membership. So that's everything, including events, discounts and offers, our junior members and our free fruit scheme, and of course the dividend, which is very precious to our members. Over the last 12 months, the committee has got together with the membership team to brainstorm some new ideas of what we could do with our membership, set a template of events, moving away from the annual AMM to going out into our communities in a nicer time of year when the sun's shining. Also during the year we have nurtured and identified new directors to the society. Our committee's priorities for 2023. Firstly, we'll be holding our elections in May of next year, so we'll be getting back onto an even keel, so that's always an exciting time, bringing new people on board. Additionally, lots of new membership events will be happening in 2023 that we're really excited about, so we can't wait to get out and meet our membership and hear what they say.
I'd now like to hand over to our Chief Executive Officer, Ursula Leadbetter, to deliver our business report. Ursula, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, good evening, members. Wonderful to see a packed audience here, and hello to everybody who's online. So, at last, we've been able to bring people back together face to face this year with member events, fundraising, and revitalising our collaboration with all our local partners. There have been very many highlights, but many challenges too. Rising costs, the tough economic climate, and social issues will continue to test all of us for the foreseeable future. But thanks to the commitment of our colleagues and the support of our members and customers, we remain strong. After 2 years where the pandemic dominated, we've seen a return to a more typical trading year. Sales steadied in most of our business areas, but as people started to travel more, we saw petrol volume increase by 7%, and our travel branches also became busier, together moving the society's overall sales up 12% to £399 million. The travel industry was hit hard by the pandemic, and the recovery this year has been gratifying to see, especially for my colleagues who returned to the happy task of booking people's holidays instead of cancelling them. Sales in travel grew from just over £1 million last year to 28 million, and we're seeing more new customers. 24% of our travel clients this year were booking with us for the first time, seeking the reassurance and support that we can provide. Sales in our food stores rose by 1%, maintaining the strong performance of recent years. Our Love Local range, which supports producers from across our area, recorded sales of nearly £5 million, which is a welcome boost to those local businesses, and some of them are here tonight. A major challenge this year was supply chain disruption. It's been a worldwide issue, and availability in our stores was affected, particularly in autumn last year. Our food outlets are also our biggest consumers of electricity, and our bills increased by 24% this year, despite our usage being down slightly, helped by investment in new refrigeration systems and fridge doors. We know your budgets are feeling the pressure too, and we're introducing more value ranges in stores and promoting dividend and the benefits of being a member. In our pharmacies, we dispensed 5.9 million prescriptions, up 3%, and that means we're holding our market share against online pharmacies, thanks to the expert teams in branch who do such a professional job issuing and advising on medication and providing many important community health services. Our focus has been encouraging over 40s to have their blood pressure checked. Around 1/3 of those in that age bracket will have high blood pressure without realising it, and our teams checked 706 people this year. We advised over 16,000 people on the use of their medication as part of the NHS New Medicines Service. And we've also been busy administering over 25,000 jabs at our COVID vaccination sites in Lincoln and Boston, and over 13,000 flu jabs at our branches and community-based clinics. And despite the vital work done by community pharmacy, government funding has been flat rather than rising with inflation or wider NHS funding. And this, combined with increases to wages, has put a real strain on all pharmacy providers. A major project for our funeral team has been the transfer of our funeral plan administration to a new provider following the introduction of regulation of the sector. We're now an appointed representative of Ecclesiastical Planning Services, which is part of a specialist UK-based financial services group authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. But all plans remain invested with Royal London as before. Ecclesiastical now hold over 11,000 plans for our clients, and when the time comes to use those plans, our colleagues will still be able to deliver the same high standard of service as always. Our post offices continue to provide valued services for our communities. The banking services we provide are particularly useful in rural areas as high street banks reduce their branch networks. Recruitment to all our roles has been more difficult this year due to general skills and labour shortages. We've introduced a new recruitment website, which makes the process so much easier and has seen applications rise significantly. We're also involved in a range of skills and employability projects, helping people into work and to develop their career with us. In view of the economic climate, we're pleased that our trading surplus, though down by 9.1%, remained healthy at £16.6 million. Our net assets, that's our foundations, grew to 311 million, reflecting our profitable trading year, a steadying of property valuations, and a significant decrease in our pension liabilities due to dramatically increased bond yields over the year. Our strong results mean we can continue to invest in new projects and services, using local businesses and contractors wherever we can. We spent nearly £23 million on our capital programme this year, and to help fund this, we sold a number of commercial properties we no longer needed. Our new investments included store openings in Retford and Barnetby, and we've been on site building stores at Barrowby near Grantham. That's opening a week today. Good luck to the team there. And at Skellingthorpe Road in Lincoln to replace our nearby Swanpool store. And we're also on site at Warsop near Mansfield, Billsthorpe, and Carlton near Selby. We've also made great progress with our major property schemes, with the Lincoln Science and Innovation Park expanding rapidly and the Cornhill Quarter in Lincoln welcoming more new tenants. We need to use the Society's resources wisely, so we're always looking at our business to ensure we're offering what our customers and communities need and we can provide. But sometimes that does mean we have to make difficult decisions about services we run, and we've done that with 3 outlets this year. Our food store and post office in Nunsthorpe, Grimsby, were transferred to another retailer. Recruitment issues and the pressure that put on our other travel branches led to the closure of our Horncastle travel agency. And in Lincoln, we shut our Carhome Road pharmacy. Despite its relocation 5 years ago to a busier site, it was not enough people used the service to make it sustainable. We were glad that all the colleagues from these branches were able to transfer to a new operator or to relocate to our other trading sites. Increased energy, payroll costs, and general inflation will continue to challenge all businesses. And you need us to be cost-effective to keep prices affordable. So we're investing in technology and systems to improve the experience for colleagues and customers and to enhance efficiency. Projects for next year include a new HR system to remove time-consuming manual processes and changes to the way we make up prescriptions in pharmacy to allow our teams to concentrate on providing that wide range of health services to our communities. We're pleased to say we are debt-free, and by managing our costs, using our resources sensibly and taking a long-term view, we're able to continue to invest in the services that are important to you. And so on that note, we look forward to hearing your questions and your comments in a few moments. Thank you.
What a great report. Thank you, Ursula. And next we'll be hearing from our President, Claudia Nell, who took over presidential duties in June of 2022. Claudia.
Thank you, David. I was delighted to be nominated by my fellow board members to serve as your president, and what a year it's been so far. It's been a privilege to travel around our area, meeting our members, colleagues, and our partner organisations. It It was my pleasure to attend the National Convenience Awards on behalf of the Society earlier this year. Colleagues Hayley Garrett-Day from Newark Road Food Store in Highcombe and Lynn Wilson-Henderson from Barnaby Gate Food Store were both nominated for their positive impact on the community under the category Sales Colleague of the Year. Now, the process is highly competitive and celebrates retail workers from across the UK, so to have 2 colleagues in the final was incredible. Our Community Champions fundraising makes a huge difference to good causes across our trading area, and I was humbled to present a cheque of £134,722 to representatives of the charity Breast Cancer Now. That was our spring champion. Hearing firsthand the difference that the money will make to research was deeply affecting. Meeting our colleagues and hearing their stories of how they fundraised was also very special. The network of community coordinators we have are invaluable, helping connect with people and groups across our area and creating positive change. I've met several of our coordinators during this year, and I'm always impressed with their energy and commitment. They really have their fingers on the pulse in each community. Now, as a local to Sleaford, I've also been delighted to see the Riverside Centre flourish with the post office, a community grocer, and many other new tenants. I was honoured to lay a wreath in memory of Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth at Sleaford War Memorial, alongside Michelle Harris from our Sleaford Funeral Home. With sadness and pride, we mark the Queen's passing, and I think the country's grief highlights the valuable work of our funeral homes and the Lincolnshire Centre for Grief and Loss, which the Society set up, a board which I sit on. And as President, I particularly enjoy connecting with our members, and it's been wonderful to see so many of you at meetings and events. Our membership team is working hard. They're going to deliver a packed programme of activities in 2023, and I'm looking forward to seeing even more of you in coming months. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Before we vote on item 2, we now move on to our question and answer session. So thank you for submitting your questions. We have allowed some 30 minutes for our Q&A session, and we'll split this time between pre-submitted questions, questions from our online audience, and questions from the floor. We will do our best to answer as many of these as we can, and for any question we do not get time to answer, we will add a response to our website. I would now like to invite Laura Dunn, our Head of Marketing and Membership, to talk us through the first part of our question and answer session. First up are the pre-submitted questions from those at the venue this evening.
Thank you, David. So we've had quite a lot of questions this evening, so I'm going to get through as many as I can, and as David said, the ones we don't have a chance to answer, please grab us afterwards, or they will be answered online as well on our website. So first up, is there a possibility of the co-op on Wybers Wood in Grimsby taking on the franchise of a post office? We lost our last post office when McColl's closed over 2 years ago. I'd like to ask Steve to come up and answer that if possible, please.
Good evening. So I think the short answer is unfortunately not. With changes in government funding and reductions in income, we aren't able to take on any new post offices at the moment. We do, however, recognise the value of each post office to its community, and we've been subsidising our post offices for some time now. So our focus is on retaining the existing services we have and supporting our fantastic teams in branch. We do, however, continue to make the case for post offices with our MPs and with ministers, But unfortunately, until the funding is improved, we're just not able to take on any more branches. Sorry.
Just wait there, Steve. While I've got him, is the co-op assisting older businesses that are finding it hard to remain trading in the Lincoln High Street, i.e. lower rent?
Okay, so we do all we can to support our tenants. Obviously, not all the properties on the high street are ours. So the support we give to our tenants, it can be varied. Sometimes it's how we set up the lease with that tenant so it works for them and for us. It could be helping them promote their business to our members. And in COVID, during the pandemic, it was especially tested. So we gave a lot of rent concessions to our tenants when they weren't able to open. And I was really pleased at the end of the pandemic, we didn't lose one of our tenants through that episode, so I was pleased with that. More recently, we've been brave. We've asked our tenants, probably for the first time, I think, what do they think of us? We've done a survey of all our tenants, and I was really pleased with the results. At least 8 out of 10 of our tenants gave us an 8 out of 10, and some of them a lot higher, and was really pleased with that. Clearly, we want to improve further, but we thought that was a good endorsement of what we're doing so far.
Thanks, Steve. The next set of questions are food store related, so we're going to get Mark Flynn to come up and answer. I'll read them all out. Can a serious attempt be made to relocate and enlarge the Sutton-on-Trent store? It is too small and the car park is also too small, so it results in lots of on-street parking which affects the neighbours. That's question 1. Question 2, why is so much of your soft bags still not recyclable, i.e. the tea cakes, buns, etc.? And can we have more fresh fruit and veg loose to help ourselves to it? Mark, over to you.
Thank you and good evening. You may need to remind me what they are in case I forget. But I think I've got... Firstly, Sutton-on-Trent. This one's come up before, so someone is very, very keen on Sutton-on-Trent. And if it's any consolation, so am I. I would love to be able to do something different with Sutton-on-Trent. Sadly, the building is configured in such a way that it is nigh on impossible to do a good job. So we keep looking for a brand new site, and we will keep looking. I assure you, it is high on our priority list. Matt is currently at home watching this, and I will remind him now. You are reminded, Matt. Second one was fresh fruits and veg loose at some of our stores. This one's a little bit more tricky because we only have a limited amount of space that we give to fruit and veg in our smaller stores. And look, we buy, as you know, from the cooperative group, and we're very conscious of the environmental credentials of what we do. Their latest thinking is still that fruit and vegetables wrapped has a better carbon footprint than fruit and vegetables loose. It is a divisive point, but that's the work they have done. And on that basis, in our smaller stores, we still have more packed vegetables than we do have loose. So that's unlikely to change in the near future. And the last one was soft plastic. So two things. Firstly, all our own label product is fully recyclable. And for soft plastics that are not recyclable of other brands, you can pop them into a soft recyclable bin in our stores, and we take them away from here and we do recycle. We have the capability and technology to recycle those things as well. So hopefully that answers the question. Got me done. Thank you.
For now, we will move on to the online questions. Oh, no, sorry, I've got one more in the room. I'm going to ask this and answer it, so this is interesting. We would prefer to have meetings at local venues during winter months rather than having to travel in the dark. Obviously, normally for our AGMs, we have 6 or 7 meetings and we travel around the county. This year and for future years, our end of year is September. It's becoming more and more pressure to get the accounts done and audited in that time scale. So we used to have the events at the end of November, and now we're pushing into December, as we can see tonight. So we felt that to have 2 weeks of events in December, this close to Christmas, asking our colleagues, asking members to come out in the winter months was probably not the right thing to do. So this year we're trialling one annual members meeting, obviously tonight, and then we are planning to run a series of events in March at the usual venues where we've had the AMMs before, to come and see members, ask questions, give a local update. And obviously we'll take your feedback on what you think of that as a format, but that's the reason we've changed it for this year. So the online questions. The first one we have around our members magazine. So would you consider putting better vouchers worth money in the member magazine? I found a lot of the time I can't use the vouchers as you don't stock the items in all of the stores, so maybe vouchers that are more usable rather than ones where you don't stock the products. And would you consider doing 4 magazines a year so we can have a spring, summer, autumn and winter? So I'll answer this one. The vouchers, we try and get a balance between the local products that are featured in the magazine to give our local producers a boost and that promotion, as well as some more general ones. So we generally have a meat voucher, fruit and veg and a Gadsby's voucher, but we will look at the balance because potentially we need to look at getting that a little bit more wider spread. So that's something we'll take away. And then the magazines, we have 2 a year currently. It is a question of kind of member benefits. Obviously it's a member magazine. We will look at whether we can do any more, but it's a cost question really, because it's part of the whole member benefits package, dividend, member events, offers, the magazine, all of that goes into the kind of same pot. So we'll have a think about whether we can do any more. And in terms of why the vouchers are dividend and not money off, because it's a member benefit, we want to make sure it's only members that get that benefit. So obviously if you've got a dividend card, it comes in dividend rather than money off, which anyone could get in the magazine. So that's that question. Then we have a question on food stores again. Why do shops staff wear headsets, which they sometimes talk into when they are serving customers, as it is very off-putting? And we'll get Mark to come and answer that.
The headsets are there for a good reason, which is to help our colleagues serve you really, really well. And a great instance would be you go to checkout, you have a quiet pricing query, the colleague can then use the headset to talk to somebody else on the shop floor and get it resolved really, really quickly. Clearly, when you are in front of a colleague getting served, I would expect you to get 100% of their attention. So it's sad to hear that some of our colleagues are taking the opportunity to chat whilst they're serving you. I know some of them are in the room tonight, some of them will be listening, so I hope they all get the message that what it's really there for is to help our customers and serve customers really, really well.
It's popular this evening. Can I please ask why you don't need to take items off the shelf when they're past their sell-by date? Our local co-op say that they don't have to, even when the strawberries are mouldy.
You won't be surprised, no, that is not an instruction. Leave mouldy strawberries on the shelf. What we're trying to do here is when something's best before, if it's still fit to sell, we kind of think, rather than throwing it in the bin, or let's try and sell it as long as we can. Now, if something's mouldy, I would expect, again, the store teams to use their common sense and take that off the shelf. I hope it's an unusual occurrence. And again, they are listening, so hopefully you'll drive some action. Is that me done? Well, you thought it was. Look, I've referenced our colleagues a number of times. There's some in the audience, and I know there's lots listening at home. They are doing a fantastic job in the current circumstances, serving our customers. And they're really ready for you this Christmas. And they want you to come in. And you can go in because we've got Christmas covered. We've got your snacking covered. Piper's Crisps, £1.50, best in market. And our chilled snacking range is 2 for £5. We've got your Christmas Day essentials covered. You'll have 3 for 2 on Mary's Piper, carrots, parsnips, swede and sprouts. And then you can finish off with 2 packs of Limbank cheese for a £5 and wash it all down with Hardy's Red or White Voyager for £5.50 and then finish off with your Baileys at £10 a bottle. Have a happy Christmas.
Thanks, Mark. And then we have an environmental question next. On your new build stores, what steps are taken to make them more carbon neutral and energy efficient, i.e. solar panels, rainwater collection and the likes? And I'll ask Kirsty, our sustainability advisor, to come and answer that.
Hello. So we've already made some great improvements in our existing stores, and we're looking to further roll those out into our new stores. So things like energy efficient LED lighting, doors on our fridges, and also looking at more energy efficient refrigeration, so using things like CO2. And as part of our internal environment group, we're continually looking at different technologies that are out there and potential new options. So things like solar panels, we already have those on 10 of our sites. And this is something that we're currently looking into at the moment, particularly with energy costs and things like that. So yeah, we're continually looking at this and how we can make our stores more energy efficient.
Thanks, Kirsty. I'll now pass back to David for the on-the-floor questions.
Laura, thank you very much, and also to colleagues who helped to answer those questions. And Mark's sales pitch I thought was very good. I should be there tomorrow. Now we move on to take any questions from the floor. If you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand and then wait for one of our colleagues to bring a microphone to you. There's one there, there's one up there. Yep.
Thank you. Right, my question, sorry, that's loud, relates to pharmacies. We've heard about the good work you did, and our co-op pharmacy continues to do collecting products to go to Ukraine. We've heard from Ursula about the increase in community services. Have you thought about putting collection points in all your pharmacies to collect the old pill packs? At the moment, it only seems to be Superdrug that's doing this at their stores that have a pharmacy, which means from Lincoln, we've either got to take them to Retford or to Grantham. Whereas if you had them in all your stores, one, you're helping recycling, you're helping the environment, and as I understand it, these then go to the company that give you back money to a charity of your choice.
Thank you for that question. Mark, perhaps you want to answer that, please?
Thank you for the question. It is actually something we've already looked at, and the company that was doing it, when we spoke to them earlier on in the year, they weren't taking on any more sites. Excuse me. So, it is something we are conscious of, but at that time, they weren't able to take on any more customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I think the gentleman there was next, and there's the one on the end.
It's fine. I just wondered what would be happening with the old Lindsay Centre in Gainsborough. It's getting into quite a derelict state. Mm-hmm. As a local town councillor, we're constantly getting asked questions on what's happening, when it's going to start, and if it's going to encourage more people and businesses into the town centre, because the town centre is aiming to be dead because the local HSBC bank is closing.
It is, yes. Thank you. Steve, perhaps if you could enlighten us on that.
Yeah, so the former department store at Lindsay Centre, we've been working with West Lindsay District Council for some time on the town centre regeneration scheme. So there's now planning permission for cinema to go onto that site. We've now jointly working with them transferred that site to them for them to be able to progress that scheme. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to see a new cinema coming onto that site to help regenerate the whole town centre.
Thank you. Gentleman over there, then there's a gentleman here with the orange pullover.
Yeah, my name is Bland. I'm a retired employee. Ursula retires at Christmas. Would the board please give the membership details of the new Chief Executive Officer that's been appointed?
Yes, we are quite happy at the appropriate time to provide those details, and a press release will be forthcoming in the near future. Obviously, our new Chief Executive, whilst having been selected, will not be able to join us until I think it's the 3rd or the 4th of April, due to notice period and things of that nature. So until we're through that, we aren't able to actually release the details, but as soon as we can, we will do so. Gentleman in the middle there.
I'd like to say a big thank you to the speaker that you had in our June event. On that occasion, I asked if it was going to be possible for a recording of his presentation to be available on the website, and I have written to ask about it, and I can't find it. Can it be please made available? It was a wonderful science-based presentation.
Thank you. Yes, we will make inquiry and endeavour to try and make that available on the website. Thank you. Another question, please. In that case, I think that will then conclude our question and answer session for this evening. Thank you for all those who have asked questions and all of those who actually helped to answer them. I hope you found that session informative. And as a reminder, if we have been unable to answer your question this evening, we will be posting full responses to all questions asked on our website in the coming days. And do let us know if there's something you didn't get a chance to ask. Directors will be around after the meeting, so please do come and speak to us at our Meet Your Board of Directors stand in the main hall. If you're joining us from home, do get in touch with a membership team whose contact details can be found on the Information tab. This now brings us onto the voting for this item. Would members please agree to receive the Director's report and the financial statements? Please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home now. Once again, for those in the room, if you have any difficulty voting, please raise your hand and a colleague will come to help you. Voting is now closed. So we now move on to item 3 on the agenda, which is to receive an update from the board on dividend distributions. In the past, we have asked you to vote on our year-end dividend bonus at our annual members' meeting. This time, to enable us to pay the additional dividend to members as early as possible in November, the board took the decision to declare a further interim dividend of 85 pence for every pound of dividend earned during the year. This was added to members' accounts on the 26th of November and can be used as full or part payment with your dividend card, key fob or mobile app. Whether you're buying the essentials, filling the car up or treating yourself, we hope you enjoy spending it, well, of course, if you haven't already. As the dividend has already been paid, there is no need to vote on this agenda item. If I may now move on to item 4 on tonight's agenda, this is to agree that the basic rate of issue of dividend will continue at the rate of 1%, as recommended by the board, and to authorise it to determine the rate of any additional dividend paid. Please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home now. Voting has now closed. I shall move on to item 5 on the agenda, and this is the ratification of Ian Haldenby's reappointment as a director following his appointment by the elected directors under Rule 62B. This appointment is reconfirmed by the board and members annually. Now, Ian is a very experienced chartered accountant who was appointed specifically for his skills and experience. To confirm Ian Handleby's reappointment, please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home now. Voting is now closed. I'm now going to hand over to our President, Claudia Nell, to introduce the voting for the next agenda item. Claudia, please take the vote.
Thank you, David. Item 6 is the ratification of David Cowell's reappointment as a director, following the appointment by the elected directors under Rule 62B. Now, this appointment is reconfirmed by the board and members annually. David has considerable business experience, having worked in the public, private, and not-for-profit sectors as a director and chief executive officer of various companies. Now, to confirm David Cowell's reappointment, please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home now, please. Thank you. Voting is closed. Now, Ian and David are the only directors who are appointed. The remainder of your board are all elected. And our next elections take place in May 2023. We're always keen to hear from a broad spectrum of members interested in standing for the board. If you are interested in standing for election, please speak to one of us afterwards at our stand in the Central Hall, or for those joining online, get in touch through the membership team. I shall now hand back to David to continue with the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Claudia. Before we move on to item 7, I would like to record our thanks to KPMG LLP for the very valuable service that they have provided to the Society over many years since being appointed as the Society's external auditors. Item 7 on the agenda is to approve the appointment of Mazars LLP as the Society's external auditors. The remuneration of the external auditors is to be fixed by the Board of Directors. Do we have the lady with us? Fantastic. I just wanted to check, bear in mind there had been a rather nasty road accident which had delayed the young lady arriving. So, before we vote on this item, I'd like to invite Jenny Birch from Mazars LLP to say a few words. Jenny.
Good evening, everyone. I must say it's absolutely amazing to be at my first live AGM in 2.5 years, would you believe? And it's also absolutely delightful to see so many people here actually engaging with the Society in terms of your membership and your votes. So I'm an audit partner at Mazars. I'm responsible for the financial statement audit of the Society, and this has been our first year as your auditors. I must say the audit itself has gone very well, and as you'll find on page 43 of the financial statements is the opinion that I've signed on behalf of Mazars to essentially give a totally unqualified opinion, which is a clean opinion, which essentially means that the Society accounting records as presented in those financial statements are accurate and correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny. And well done for getting here eventually. Thank you. To approve the appointment of Mazars LLP as our external auditors, please cast your votes on your keypads here at the venue or on your devices at home now. Voting has now closed. That concludes our agenda items for this evening, so I'd now like to announce the results of the voting from both our in-room and online audiences combined. So, I'm delighted, I think you can all read that. So I'm delighted to say that all the various motions have been approved and ratified, and thank you for that. On a personal note, it is a privilege to serve as a director of this great institution, and I just want to say thank you so very much for ratifying my reappointment for a further year. Thank you. Now, before I bring the formal annual meeting to a close, as many members will already know, Ursula Ledbetter has announced that she will retire from her role as the Society's Chief Executive Officer at the end of December this year. It's a position which she has held for 18 years with great distinction, and she has given more than 37 years' service to the Society. She will be very greatly missed by colleagues, members, board members, and by the cooperative movement more generally. I would personally like to pay tribute to her for the leadership that she has provided within the business and the wider contribution she has made to the cooperative sector. Now, we have a few more people who'd like to say a few words.
Ursula.
Thank you for being such a wonderful role model and a truly inspirational leader.
It's been a pleasure working with you. As I've told you many times before, I admire you as much as anyone I've ever worked with.
I just wanted to thank you for everything that you've done for us all, as I'm still very proud and happy to have a career with the values that you have always championed.
Thank you, Ursula, for the 37 years that you've put in for this society and towards the community.
On behalf of the teams in both travel and post offices, I just want to say a massive thank you for all of your support over the years.
You've been a huge inspiration to me, both in terms of how you conduct yourself and what you stand for.
Thank you for the past 22 years, it's been amazing.
Thanks for being such a champion of community pharmacy.
A big thank you from the walkers and the volunteer walk leaders for all your support with the Wellbeing Walks. Thank you!
You have led us with positivity, energy and enthusiasm.
It's been lovely to see you over the years at all the events.
Thanks, Ursula, for being such a fantastic guardian of Lincolnshire Co-op for the last 18 years.
I'm going to miss you so much. You've been a shining star at the Co-op for all of these years. We've learned so much from you. Massive admiration, massive respect.
I remember, Ursula, when you became CEO, you had a vision, bringing all divisions together and updating our stores, and more recently, the Cornhill Quarter. And I hope your vision now is to have a long and happy retirement.
Happy retirement, Ursula. Thank you for your service. Enjoy a well-deserved break.
On behalf of People and Performance, we would all like to say happy retirement and...
Thank you, Ursula.
From everyone in the membership team.
Thank you.
Well done.
What a wonderful film from colleagues from across our business. A way to try and encapsulate 37 years of service into a few minutes and a few sound bites. Now, Ursula, would you like to say a few words?
Well. That was a complete surprise. I don't know how you did all that. It's amazing. We were at the pensioners' Christmas lunch yesterday, and they were very, very kind to me. And one said, well, it's all right. You've been a hard worker, and you've done it perfect. I don't know what to say. I can't do better than that. Thank you so much to all the people who put that video together. It means a lot to me, and that's a lot of effort that's gone in, and all those feelings are reciprocated. I bought a tissue just in case, but I'll be all right. I'll be all right, I think. So what a privilege it's been to be part of Lincolnshire Co-op for the whole of my career and for 18 years as your CEO. And this moment every year is always one of the most important and special. To stand before the members, to account for our stewardship, and to hear from you, your verdict, what we've done well, what we could have done better, and what we should be doing next. Being a co-op, we're responsible to our members, so constant feedback keeps us focused on the real stuff that's affecting you. And I've enjoyed getting that feedback, all of it, coming in all sorts of different ways. So Sister Mary Michael, here she is tonight, she's always here, and she always puts in a question card to this meeting. And she professed on one of them to be a co-op addict. I still have that card. And tonight she put a card in. She wants to thank our florists for the lovely flowers they provided, and she wants us to try and keep the prices the same. We'll give it a go. There's Anna, who sent me an email after one AGM saying she wanted to propose that we should run the country because we seemed to know what we were talking about. People who've called BBC Lincolnshire over the years to tell me their views when I was doing a phone-in. People who've gone online, filled in the survey, giving us feedback on their store visit. The Ruskington 12, who, not having the technology to do our online survey, would from time to time send me a beautiful card with their comments on the store, always constructive and a joy to receive. I haven't had a card for a little while, so maybe they've gone digital. The lady and her son, who came to our consultation in Dunholm on the proposed new store and showed me why they thought the design was not in keeping with the area. After the store had been built, she came here to this AGM specifically to thank me because we'd completely redesigned the building. Guess what? She was right. It was better. And it was her input that put us on the right track. All the people of Lincoln over the years who gave me their feedback on Sinsel Street and who influenced us to retain and restore every one of their much-loved buildings. To all of these members and many more, thank you for your praise, for your challenge, for supporting our stores and our colleagues. You often tell us how good our colleagues are to you, and I know how kind you are to them in return. Members, colleagues, you have been a constant inspiration for me to do more, to be better, to find solutions. Please do keep engaged by whatever means. For a consumer co-op, your input is the very air that we breathe. Thank you.
So from everyone at Lincolnshire Co-op, members, colleagues, customers, thank you, Ursula. And we wish you a very long, healthy and happy retirement. At this point, just before I formally close the meeting, I'd like to go back to the question asked by Mr. Bland in terms of our new Chief Executive. Remiss of me, it has already been published on our website. So in brief, it's a lady called Alison Hands, who is currently Managing Director at Wilko's and has served at in Marks & Spencer's, Boots and other well-known names. She comes to us with a wealth of experience and ability to lead teams in I would call it a co-op fashion. With one of the things we are very keen to look for as part of recruiting, not someone to replace Ursula, but someone to try and be a CEO for organisation, is to make sure they understood, embraced and lived the idea of purpose and the values which we all hold so much dear and make the co-op unique. At this point, I shall now formally close the meeting. It just remains for me to thank the membership team for organising this evening and to everyone that has been involved for all their hard work in making tonight possible. And what a great night it's been. We would also like to thank the teams at Lumi and Peachtree who have facilitated and broadcast the meeting out to members joining us online this evening and put up me saying the lights in the wrong place. Our thank you also goes to all of you for joining us tonight and voting on these very important matters. We'll be adding £5 of dividend onto the account of every member that has signed in both here in the room and those online. This will be available to spend from Saturday the 10th of December by using your dividend app, card or key fob. We are always looking at ways to improve our members' experiences and are grateful for any feedback that we receive. I should like to invite you to complete a survey on your experience of tonight's meeting, which will be emailed to members for whom we hold an email address and also available to complete on our website. The survey will close on the 16th of December this year. And finally, on behalf of the Board of the Directors, have a safe journey home, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you.